the record labels like Universal, they're working hard right now to get artificial intelligence music scrubbed from streaming audio, such as Spotify. It's a hard fight with Spotify and some of the rest, Apple Music and things, because they promote that themselves. They have their AI DJs where you open up their apps and things of this nature. And it seems like everybody's getting paid and everybody's profiting, except the artists that are getting deep faked or quote unquote copied. So how do you protect yourselves? One, make sure all of your music is registered. Both the audio of it and the written lyrics. Two, talk with your performing rights organization. I'm assuming that would be SAMPRA and SAMPRO. And find out what their stance is on that. They have to have something in place in this day and age to protect the artists from things like this. Basically, you're getting your livelihood and your life stolen by somebody sitting at home tapping on a computer. And there's several apps out here, if you Google it, that you can use. Now, don't get me wrong, AI is not always a bad thing. For those that are new to the music industry, or new artists, or even some established artists, you need music produced, but you can't afford it. You can't afford to get into a studio, have a producer and an engineer mix and master your work. There's actually apps out there, and this is the good part of it. And you guys might want to, like I said, Google this. But there is a nice part to it, because on something like that, it's useful. You can Google these apps, download them, upload your song, and get it professionally mixed and mastered by AI, making it a clean copy, professionally done, crisp, clear as can be, for just a couple of dollars. But as part of the music industry, when you do that, understand that that just costs a job. There's a reaction to every action. Even though that's a great source, and I would encourage you to use it because it makes your music better. And it keeps it yours because it's not changing it, it's just professionally mixing and mastering it. But on the flip side, there's an engineer that's no longer doing that. There's a producer that's no longer doing that. You guys get what I'm saying?
Yes.
You need to get with the program, get up to date, study these things, Google this, because this is the way the music industry is headed. Will AI take over and eliminate musicians altogether? That's an open question. They possibly could. But, the good thing about humans is the human interaction. Will AI be able to touch the soul and interact with the humans the way a real person would? More than likely not. But that's going to be up to you as an artist. You have to keep your audience not just entertained, but you have to keep them aware and active. You have to interact with them so that they're not only just listening to your music, they're getting to know you as an artist. They're getting to understand you as a person. Your fan base is major. But if you guys sit and don't do anything, don't study up on this, don't find anything interesting in it and say, oh, that'll never affect me, you're going to be the only one sitting at the table pretty soon. Because if you look back a year ago, AI was not even a talked about subject in very many circles at all. Right now, it's talked about by everybody all over the world. And artists, find out really what AI can do for you on the positive side. Use it as a tool, not as an instrument. Are there any questions so far? No? Okay. I wanted to get that out there. There's a lot that I could say on it, but I want to first tell you guys, look into it. Then, if there's no questions on AI, then we can move on to another subject. Okay. What do you guys know about publishing? Does everybody in here understand how publishing works or distribution? The other subject that I wanted to talk about, I believe Alan Johnson is coming on behind me. He'll probably talk about distribution and things like that. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about publishing and how you get your things together. Now, I know that Summer and everything like that they came on a little while ago, but there's a lot more to just registering your song. Can you guys hear me? It says audio is out. Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
When you talk about publishing, you're talking about ownership. They did a good job of telling you about how to get registered and things like that, and how you need to collect your royalties, the steps you need to do that. But let's talk about that actual song. You put in all your hard work and you produce an album, or you produce an EP, or you produce a single. And the first thing you want to do, I'm going to I'm going to do a little crossover chat with you guys right now about social media and publishing. You create a piece of music and you get excited about it. You want to go ahead and release it. And how many of you have actually put new stuff that you've just done on sites like Instagram and TikTok? Anybody in the audience? Okay. A lot of people do. And you go on social media and you'll see all these people and they're all excited. These new artists and things like this, they're putting music out on a social media platform that's open. And the first thing that you see that happens to a song that starts to go viral is people will start doing what they call remixes. And who profits from a remix? Not you. But is there anything you can do about it? Your music's not registered. It's ownership. If you bought a house, you want to make sure that your name is on a deed. If you write that song, produce that music, create that piece of artistry, you want to make sure that your name's all over it. So when I say that, be careful about what you put out there. And on publishing, you need to understand, I'm in the U.S. I'm going to speak on the U.S. I'm not exactly sure how things work there. Victor and some of the rest of the speakers that you're speaking with can assist you on that. But on publishing here, you make sure that the song is registered. You make sure it's in your name. And then not only that, you let your organization that you're working with, your publisher, know if they should be submitting this for television or film, or if it's going to be playing at the yacht club or in an elevator somewhere, or even in the mall or something for music. You guys go into stores and you hear music playing over the intercom, right? Do you know that when that music plays, those artists are supposed to be getting paid? But if they do not register that music and it's just floating around out there, you heard the young lady talking about the, I forgot what she called it, the basket of music where they just have, where nobody's claimed it because nobody's registered for it. Surely you don't want your music sitting out there in that basket unclaimed. So the importance of getting your stuff registered, I can't even start to emphasize. But the first step to that is being careful where you put it. You should not release anything that you have not already copyrighted or if you have not already registered. Because let's say it gets picked up for film and television. You haven't registered. But you turn the TV on and your music's playing all over a movie. And you want to jump up and get mad because that's your music. You're right. It's your music, but you don't own it. You didn't register it. You don't own it. Don't expect to get paid for it. Being an artist is more than just putting out music. You're running a business. Victor and I used to talk a lot, and I used to tell him that artists need to remember that they are their business. They are their brand. You can't simply rely on someone else to tell you what to do, how to do it. You have to get up here and you have to figure these things out yourself. The smartest way to do it is, if you don't know, is to Google it or ask somebody. But when it comes to publishing, and there's so much to publishing, you need to know where your music's being presented. There are companies out there that you can work with. And you say, hey, I've registered my music with my performing rights organizations. I've copyrighted my music. and you guys present it for placement. It's called for placement. When you have a placed in ads, be nice to turn the TV on and there's a nice perfume ad and your song's playing in the background. Or a promo for a TV show or for a car ad or something like that. And I'm sure you guys all know you should be compensated for all of that. But if your publishing is not right, you will stay broke. And that's it. That money goes into what she told you, the unclaimed bucket sitting over here. So, and I say this, and as Victor knows, I stay on this. This is like a proponent of mine. Get your stuff together. And if you don't know how to do something, don't be afraid to ask. There's plenty of people out there that you can ask. Everything doesn't cost. But publishing, you should get that on there. Now, social media. Did anybody have a question on how important the publishing is? No. Okay. So how many of you use social media to promote your music? Okay. Do you actually have a creative marketing plan? Do you have a marketing plan, or do you just put your music out there? You just kind of put it out there? You have a whole plan. Okay, I'm watching the young man on the front row with the white hat. He's been interacting.
Hi, Anita. I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Is that someone in the back?
Yeah. Right here.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm good. I just need to do a follow-up question. You mentioned the issue of remixes of music.
Yes.
So here in our country we have a genre. It's called amapiano. It's a very popular genre at the moment. So what more? A genre of music. It's called amapiano. Yeah. So what usually happens is DJs would just find maybe kids singing in the streets, take whatever they were singing, go remix it, and then tomorrow you hear it as a very big trending song. So how do you then go about that? If let's say you recorded yourself singing in the shower or wherever else, and then another DJ takes that to recording, and tomorrow it's trending, it's all over, they've put beats, it's sounding all nice, but that was your concept and that was your idea. And the concept is out there, you didn't register it, but it's already out there, it's trending. How do you benefit and how do you go about that?
So you're saying, like, if you had a song that you recorded while you were in the shower,
something like that,
and you put it out there, and I'm just saying, and somebody just used it.
Yes.
The DJs are playing it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Was it actually meant to be a song, or is it just a clip? Is it a?
It can be a
verse. What is it?
Let's just say a verse or a clip, or maybe a 3 seconds, or let's say a minute of me singing a chorus of something that it's not been composed by anybody else, playing just for fun.
Okay, no. This is where AI can be a help, and this is where you need to be a help to yourself. So when you see this thing and it's jumping off like that, what's the first thing you think you should do?
Contact the DJ. Tell him to remove it.
You need to register that song. Name it and register it. Name it and register it. Guys, the very most important thing you can do is own your material. I don't care if you were sitting out here singing to your kids and your neighbor recorded you. He may have done the recording, but that is your voice and your material. It's your original stuff. Claim it and register it. And you're going to do it before somebody else does. Because somebody makes a remix and they go register that song, it's gone. And unless you're ready for a court battle, it's gone. Which is why I just sat here and told you guys one of the very first things, the most important thing about publishing, about owner's rights, is to register that music. I see this happen every day on TikTok. Somebody gets out here and they just throw together a verse and it turns into a whole song. People create dances around it. DJs play it like crazy. The clubs are rocking it. And this person is sitting over here saying, and I didn't get any kind of recognition. They didn't even say that I was the original owner of the song. You're not the original owner at that point. When you saw this happening, you should have been proactive, not reactive, proactive. You should have been out here registering this song. You should have been letting people know, hey, they're playing my song. And it's weird for me to say that because a few years ago that would have looked crazy. You do this and you put it on TikTok and let's say, like you just said, it blows up. Who's to say that you're the original owner? You. Put out videos and say, hey, my hero song being played on the radio. I said, when they pull for evidence, because you're performing rights, if you register it, they will, or you contest it, they will have to pull for evidence. Are they going to see original evidence from these other people saying, hey, I'm the original artist, or hey, oh my God, my song's being played? You get what I'm saying? It may not be the technical way to do it, but you get what's yours. And it's a cutthroat business these days because everybody wants everybody else's stuff. And DJs have a real problem because I work with several DJ groups. They will take music and mix and mix and mix and come up with some of the best tracks you've ever heard. They can't profit from it, but they play it. Well, who's losing money in that scenario? The original artist. A big thing these days is taking country and hip hop and putting them together, country and R&B, and making a whole nother song using the exact original content, just splicing and overlaying. And again, you created a whole nother song, but are the original artists getting paid? And it's the same thing with you and your example that you just put out. You have to claim it, you have to own it before someone else does. You know, I listened to the other young lady speak before from Sembra, and she was telling you guys that as artists, don't be lazy. Get your stuff registered. You can't cry about and whine about not being protected and not getting paid if you're not getting your stuff registered. I don't care if it is just a song that you was blowing out while you were in the shower and recorded it and put it out there. It's yours. It's yours. If that kind of help you.
So would it be advisable that you register everything that you think it looks good or whatever that you produce out there?
Let me tell you something. Absolutely. 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 And you know that you can also, I don't know if Samba does it, but the performing rights organizations in the U.S., you can register your lyrics as well. You register them with your publishing company. Because they may not use your track, but your lyrics might be fly on somebody else's, track. It may not be with the original track that you use. I've had plenty of songs by artists where the music left a lot to be desired, even in my opinion. But I've had companies come to me and say, hey, the lyrics on this would go great with my artist's track that they created over here. And that's where you have that collaboration. They lease, they buy the rights to it, they buy the song. Then it's up to you guys how you want to do that. You want to sell the track to them, you want to sell the lyrics to them. Everything is interchangeable. But nothing is interchangeable if you don't register. I have songwriters with I don't own a publishing company. I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce myself, guys. My name is Dr. Anita Wilson-Pringle. My company is CM3 Media Group. We had technical difficulties at the beginning and it completely slipped past me. My company is CM3 Media Group. And it's also CM3 Publishing. My publishing houses are through CSEC, ASCAP, and BMI in the U.S. On our publishing, I have songwriters that don't produce music. They just write lyrics. That's what they do. They write songs. And they will come in and upload entire notebooks of music, of lyrics. And not even, some of them don't even make sense. They just, whatever they write into their notebooks and their tablets while they're sitting up here trying to come up with lyrics, I tell them, take a picture, upload it, and register. Make sure you have it on file. Because it's more to taking property away from people than just taking the music. It's taking the lyrics. And we've all heard it and seen it done. So register everything. Your lyrics are just as important as the music behind it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else have a question? Okay, so we're gonna drop back onto social media real fast. I want to talk to you guys about that. The good points and the dangerous points. Again, protect yourself, register your information, but I was asking, how many have a directed marketing plan? Young man in the front row with the white hat, you have a marketing plan for your social media?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Do you have a team working with you, or are you doing it yourself?
I have a
Oh,
team.
sorry guys.
No, I have a team that I'm working with.
Okay.
Yes.
So whether you have a team or you're doing it yourself, you guys need to come up with a plan. Don't just get out here and put things out here. Your time's valuable, so use it wisely. And to just throw stuff out there and expect it to stick or watch it bounce off and hit the wall, you know, it's not good for anybody. But I want to tell everybody out there, if you don't have a team, figure out what you need. If you know that you're good as an artist, but you're also good at creating content for social media, then that's fine. Create something that goes along. But if you need a content creator for social media and you're not good at that, find somebody that can. Find somebody that can. Partner with somebody that can. You've all seen it. Listen to your audience. And I'm on a social media subject. Listen to your audience. A lot of people will put out information. They don't go back and read the comments. Do you guys go back and read the comments on what you put on social media? Because if you do, you can gauge your audience. If you don't, you keep putting out stuff that nobody wants to hear. They don't care about. They figure that you're not engaging with them, so why would they engage with you? It's probably a bunch of crazy stuff in your comments. But if you're listening to them and they say, hey, John, that would be cool if you did it to this type of track, or if you slowed it down right here, or oh man, I love that verse, but you could do this with it. Listen to some of those suggestions. I'm not saying cater to your fans and the type of music and stuff that you do, but listen to them. A little tweaking, because more than one ear is always a good thing. Create you a team, which would consist of your social media manager, which is not the same as your content creator. We're talking straight social media right now, nothing else. Your social media manager, content creator, make sure that you have everything on a schedule. The key to getting successful on social media is your lives. Now, you can schedule your lives, or you can just pop up and say, hey guys, I'm going live right now, or yada yada. You may have a lower, showing if you just go instantly. I would say schedule that out, plan it out. Guys, you gotta remember, you are your business. You are your brand. My specialty is marketing and publishing. And I will tell you from day one, and Victor will tell you, I've been on him about this since I met him. Understand, you are your brand. How you present yourself, how you train yourself, how you treat yourself is all going to be key to how you're received. Pay attention to your attire, or pay attention to your whole outlook. You don't want to get out here and just jump out here like you just jumped off the truck from work and start putting out music. If you want to create a persona and you say, hey, this is the person I want to be, you can be a totally different person in real life. But if this is the persona that you want, make sure that that's the persona that you present and stay constant with it. Your social media manager will not just say, oh, well, they do that. This is their job. They're not going to tell you, oh, well, let's just do a live on TikTok or Instagram or something. They're going to say, it's Music Indies Week somewhere. Anyway, let's start putting out some videos on some new artists, your new music and things like that. Let's start tagging. The manager will be the one who tells you what to tag. They will look for offerings where you can participate. How many of you know that TikTok, the last few weeks, have had an international contest for artists, unknown artists, to submit their music to be heard? Did any of you know that? I'm assuming you get TikTok there, right? Yeah. So they played the final artists and stuff like that this weekend, and they were great. But you know what was missing? Melon. There were no black people. They were probably maybe out of thousands that entered, I'm guessing it was probably less than 100. Guys, you got to keep your ears to the ground. Social media is where you're going to make your money because that's what's going to drive your followers to streaming services. People put music on social media and then I don't know what they expect. Like, they expect to get paid from there. Social media pays you for content. It doesn't pay you for streams. It doesn't pay you for this, and it doesn't pay you for that. It pays you for views. So what you want to do is get your social media manager. Have them put things on a schedule. Say, hey, let your audience know. I'll be going live every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock and on Saturdays at 5. Let them join you. Tell them to share it with friends. Now on social media, you can preempt your live viewings. If you have a manager that knows what they're doing, and if they don't, they have training videos on all the social media platforms for social media managers. If you go in there as a business, keep your personal account and your business account separate. Don't post about your kids on your business account. Stay as private as you can possibly be. Keep the two separate. Don't use it. If you already have a personal account and you've been putting your music up, put videos up on your personal account and say, hey guys, I'm separating my music from, my business from my personal. So follow me over here. Get followers. Get people that not just follow but want to interact. Then from the content manager, let's talk about your content. What are you putting out? You're an artist, but you're putting out street bites on your page. You're an artist, but you're putting some kind of vulgar stuff up here with memes and stuff like that. You're an artist, but nothing on your artist page says anything about you, your music, your goals, where you're trying to take your music, your upcoming events, anything. But it has this girl over here shaking her booty with half of it falling out. What does that say? Unless you're that girl, what does that say? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's not even cute. So that's where your content manager come in. They are responsible for curating the information that you put out here to the public. And curating meaning to be selectful. They need to be selectful. You have an upcoming concert. You might just be playing at a dinner theater or a small club. Don't you want people to come and attend? Just because you tell, I'll be at Club Neuron over here on Friday night, does not mean that they're going to show up. You need to do some they call them drops. Like little 15-second promos saying, hey, I'll be over here at Club Neuron in such and such a place on Saturday night at 10 o'clock. Stop in and join us. Promote the place. Promote whatever the event is. And don't expect to always get paid for it. Until you start making a name for yourself in this business, a lot of your junk is going to be free. And it's not for their benefit. In the long run, it's for yours. I tell people when I first meet them, it's nice, we're having a nice conversation, but why should I invest in you when you don't invest in yourself? And when I say that, I don't even mean monetarily. I mean time-wise, experience-wise. Why am I doing all the work and you think that you're supposed to just sit there and profit? I teach people that they are their own brand, how to run their own company, the responsibilities that you need to take. I hold your hand. I don't have a client that I ever take for more than a year. I will walk you through the entire music industry. But I'm only going to do that if you're going to help yourself, because when I let go of your hand, you're going to be walking on your own. And with social media, guys, you need to be walking on your own, which means you need to establish the needs, the things that you need immediately. So if you're on social media now and you're promoting your music, stop. Take a break for a week. Create you a team. And don't go out here and get your sister and your brother and your cousin and your best friend because they want to get involved. Don't do that. Look around. I have artists that I work with, their entire team is under the age of 25. Because these kids know more than we will ever know. They know how to get in there. They know how to talk to them. They know where to put the stuff. They are on here 24/7 constantly. I have one artist that I work with. His content creator is 16 years old. This young man gets in here and he scours. He uses key phrases. He uses hashtags. He finds out open mic events. He finds this and he finds that. He finds contests that we're able to enter our artists in that doesn't cost anything. You don't have to go broke getting your name out there. You certainly don't have to go broke to make money. A lot of times it costs zero, but it costs 100% effort. Any young man in the back, did you have a question?
It's more of a request. If maybe you can just give us.
Can you speak up just a little louder?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, it's more of a request. If maybe you can just give us a bit more information just to entice our fellow artists here. Obviously, when you put content on social media, there's what we call views. Obviously, you get paid depending on the number of views you have. There's also what we call brand placement, where probably brands attach themselves
Okay,
with you.
can you repeat that? I'm barely hearing you.
Okay, we have the views. The views count, obviously. How many views you get.
Right.
Okay, and then there's brand placement, where maybe Coca-Cola say you, hey, do a video holding or drinking one of our products. And then there's adverts, those that pop out on your content. So when you're watching somebody's video, an advert can just pop out. Do you perhaps have information, monetary value, which one pays more between the three, and maybe how much if you score a certain amount of views on a content?
And you want to know who'd have that information? Your team. That would be your social media manager. That is the person that should have your numbers. That's the person who should tell you what you're looking like as far as ad placement. And if you guys didn't know, these companies, there's a difference between a company putting out something and say, hey, I'm looking for brand ambassadors, and then there's one for paid content. Like you were talking about. Let's say Coke saw you and they wanted you to advertise, put the advertisement and stuff on there. Or there's also the option of you opening up your content to receive ads. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, that also.
Okay. So you need to, I don't know if they have it there. Like on TikTok, they have the Creator Fund. Do they have that open in South Africa?
I'm not sure with TikTok. The only one that I know of, it's YouTube. That with YouTube, obviously, you get paid according to the number of views, and also with.
So YouTube, they'll pay you. YouTube pays in South Africa.
Yeah, they do pay. We are paying.
Okay.
We are paying American tax for
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube I know well. I know all of them well, but YouTube is the old one, so it's been around for a minute. When you open up your content on YouTube to ad placement, if you go back into your dashboard, don't just, okay, let me start over with this. Create a business account on all of your socials. I just finished telling you guys that as far as marketing. Don't use your personal YouTube account, because if you do, you're not going to get the analytics that you need. And this is what you're asking about. You're asking about the analytics, showing how much you're making per click, showing what days of the week are your highest viewership, showing how much you made, X amount of views for this month and X amount for that month, where your highest time periods during the day is. Let's say you're, singing a really nice song. Maybe Friday nights are like the best nights for that song. So you want to know where your best and highest numbers are coming from. That's all in your analytics. Now, when you create a business account under your artist name, if your name's John Jones and you have a following right now, there's a way to flip your personal account on YouTube, which you have 100,000 viewers on, 100,000 subscribers, to flip it over to you got to go into your settings, but you can do a business account. And once you do that, it'll give you the analytics. You'll be able to actually do paid ad placement within your own videos and your own content. Let's say there's a market down the street and they want to sponsor you. They want you to put their ad in their, in the thing. You can actually drop their ad into your original content. So you're getting paid twice. You're getting paid from the supermarket down the street that wanted you to advertise their market on your videos, and you're also getting paid from the paid content that YouTube puts on your videos once you give them permission. The money that you make from the supermarket goes straight in your pocket because you're collecting that. Now, if they want complete data on how well it's doing and what it's doing, you can use the same data that you use for Coca-Cola because YouTube's tracking everything. So your analytics page for that can be provided back to the grocery store and say, hey, these are our peak periods. This is when my video is playing. Your advertisement is attached. So you're getting paid twice off of one effort. You get what I'm saying? Did that kind of answer your question?
It does.
So if you have a personal account, just go into settings and you can flip it over to a business account on YouTube. Now, I will tell you this. They don't pay the greatest, but they do pay. They pay on time, and they will ask you questions. They'll look at they analyze, it's an AI analytics conversion on your video content. And what it'll do is it'll pull out and it'll look at the people and their pages of what's looking at your pages. And then what it'll do, it'll say, hey, I have a artist, or I have a user over here that sings a lot, and he always has great looking cars and stuff in there. You might start seeing advertisements at the bottom of your videos from local car dealerships or even tire companies for tires to go on your automobile. It could be from auto parts stores, but it'll be some of the weirdest content and you wonder where it came from. But it's there because they analyze the people that are looking at your video as well as the content that you have inside. You understand? A lot of times you don't get a choice on it. If you get a choice, then that's money that you're making yourself, like outright. You're making a deal with a company to say, hey, I'll drop your advertisement into my video or on there. Those running, streaming banners that you see on your YouTube, you opt in for advertising. What they do is they try to use their, like I said, their AI tools and their analytics as best they can to partner you or push you toward brands that they feel are similar to the content that you have on your channel. You got it? So what you want to do is, if you don't already have a channel, and I keep using the term business account, proper term is channel. If you have a personal account, turn it into a channel. You are not really getting paid off those personal accounts. You're just getting paid for views. Once you turn that thing into a channel, you're making money. Every social media platform out there will allow you to make money. Some of it's small money, some of it's large money, and you're wondering, oh, this guy only has 50,000 followers, but he's telling me he's making 10 grand a month. How's he doing that? You gotta look at his interaction. He's interacting with those viewers. Every time they post, he may have 10,000 viewers, but he puts out posts scheduled by who? Who schedules the content that goes out? The social media manager, the content creator, your marketing team. Once that stuff goes out, and he may only have 150 people that respond, like individuals, but he's interacting with them. He's replying back. They're replying back. Every time they hit and reply back, that's money in his pocket. That's money in your pocket. You don't interact with your audience, you're leaving money sitting there.
So you say the interaction on the comments can actually add value on how much you make. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And YouTube is a little different, guys, because YouTube pays by click, pay per click, PPC. You guys have heard of that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They may also pay by just who let it stream, how many videos, how many times it's popped up. Let's say somebody come to your account and they watch your video. There may be an ad that's placed in there that's not until the end of the video. Your video is 6 minutes long. That tells them that somebody sat there and watched that entire 6 minutes for that ad to be seen. So the longer that you can engage your audience to watch your content, the more advertisers you can pull in, the more money you make. You see people all on social media, and I don't understand this, but they do it. They put the phone up on a nightstand, and they turn it on, and they go live, and they go to sleep. You guys have all seen that, right? That's the craziest nonsense I ever seen, and some of the best marketing around. They do this junk, and 8 hours later they get up, and 30,000 people have popped in and out watching their content, and they just made $5,000 or $6,000 overnight. I don't understand it, but people will sit there and watch people sleep and have whole conversations about it. So if they're doing that while somebody's sitting there sleeping, imagine the conversations they'd be having if you were actually doing something. Now, on the part of marketing, I'm going to add in there about community involvement. But back to you at the mic. Did that kind of answer your question? Give you an idea? Change over to a YouTube channel, not just a regular, viewer account, user account. Change over to a channel, control your analytics. And what I love about it is they also have video creation tools in there. So if you don't have a videographer, if you've got still pics or little images and stuff you took with your camera and stuff like this, you can upload it, create your own video, lay your music behind it. I mean, it makes you a video producer right there on the spot. But you don't get access to that unless you're a channel. Keep your business and your personal separate, guys. That includes your money. I'm going to throw this one in there. It's not on subject, but keep a business account and a personal account, because once you start mixing, it becomes a problem. And don't forget, I'm going to say it again, how important your team is. You need a social media team if you're concentrating on social media, but you need somebody doing your social media anyway, even if you're doing traditional stuff. If you're doing, radio work or video work, anything like that, you got to have somebody that looks over your shoulder and checks. It's a check and balance system to make sure everything's going right. Don't just throw stuff out there because it's hot. Man, this is fire. We just came out the studio and this is the business. No, it's not. It's going to be somebody else's business in 15 minutes as soon as you drop it. Because I will take it from you. I'm going to be straight telling. I'm going to tell you like it is. I have heard stuff out there, and I have watched these artists, and I will even drop it into their inboxes and say, hey, you need to register this before it blows up. You need to do this. They don't do it. I've done it to them. I've done it, and I'm being honest, I've done it to the artists, not because I wanted to profit from it. I did it to teach them a lesson. Then I turn around and I give it back to them. I have taken company names. I do marketing and stuff for actual companies and everything, brands and everything else. I have literally went out here and searched out and came up with URLs, .coms and .nets and everything else for companies because they didn't claim their own product. If they're not going to claim it, somebody is. Why shouldn't it be me? I'm telling you this because you are in a cutthroat business. Sad to say, and nobody's watching your back if you're not watching your own. I don't go out here looking for artists to snatch stuff up from, and if I did something like that, I've already been in contact with the artist and I've tried to warn them, you need to get this stuff registered. You need to protect yourself. You need a publishing company. You need this. And they think they know everything, and they go out here and do it, and then I snatch it up and I hold it, and I let them figure out who took it, why they're not getting paid. And then when they contact me, I literally will release everything. But at that point, they've done the work that they should have done in the beginning. You guys understand what I'm saying, right? Yeah, you don't have, you have friends in this industry, but not when it comes to a dollar bill. Get your game together. You guys have, and I'm just going to speak on this as a whole. I've told Victor this for the last, 6 years. The music that comes out of that place, out of South Africa, Bloemfontein, I've heard some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard in my life. You guys, some of you guys are amazing. Amazing. But who hears it? Why isn't it playing over here? There's a lot of reasons. But you want to know what the main reason is? You. It's because you have not put in the work and the effort to figure out how to define yourself outside of your home. Marketing is a beast, but without it, you'll never prosper. On YouTube, on TikTok, on social media, on any kind of anything, not on television, not anywhere. If you don't put yourself out there and put it out in a way where you control the narrative, if you let somebody else do it, you put out a song and it blows up on social media. And all of a sudden you see TV shows and talk shows and stuff on the radio. Oh man, this song is the hottest. Are they calling you for an interview? No, because they don't know who you are. All they have is a name of some guy. There's probably 15 other people out there with the same name, jumping up and down on the stage trying to sing the same song. But it's your song. But who knows that? Nobody, because you didn't register. But who should be getting the credit if they have done it right? You. You. And I'm going to say it again. You. You are responsible for you. You cannot blame others if you are not getting paid, if you did not do the work and put in the work and make sure the work was managed and oversaw correctly. Marketing is how you make it out there. That bottle of water you sitting in front of you, it has a label on it. You guys have seen that label 1,000 times since you've been sitting at that table. If you took that water off that table, you can ask any one of you what brand of water was sitting on this table. Subconsciously, you knew. You knew because subconsciously, you've been looking at that bottle the whole time that you've been sitting at that table. So wouldn't you like to be somebody's subconscious? You do that through marketing. Branding. Anybody got any questions? See, I get on marketing, I start preaching to people because that's a passion of mine, because I watch people work like dogs, and they work like dogs, and the one thing they forget is to take care of themselves, take care of their own business, because they're too worried about how everybody else perceives them. You don't have to worry about how other people perceive you when you put out the image and the persona that you want them to perceive. When you handle your business the way it's supposed to be handled. Marketing is key, guys. Marketing is key. And it does not take money to market. It didn't take any money. It took, what, $5, $6 for a case of water to sit that water on your table? Now you're going to go home and you're going to think about that water bottle for weeks. And every time you see that brand, you're going to kind of laugh and say, yeah, she was right. Because now it's implanted in your head. Wouldn't you like to be implanted in somebody's head? It's music right now you heard when you were a child. And as soon as that melody come on, the first 3 seconds, you already know that entire song. They branded that into you. They branded that because of the way it was presented, the way it was performed, the way it was managed. So I want to see everybody at this conference be branded into somebody else's mind. And I'm going to say it again, you guys have some of the most beautiful music I've ever heard, from the house music to the jazz to you name it. And I don't know you guys, but I am so proud of each and every one of you. And Victor will sit back there and tell you I 100% mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because if it's anybody I want to see come up, it's you guys. And you can do it, but you just got to remember that you are your own business. You are your brand. You don't need others to motivate you when you motivate yourself. And how do you motivate yourself? By getting up every morning and saying, this is what I want, and I'm going to get it. And you start at home. Start dressing the way you want to be seen. It doesn't take money. You need clothes. Just go find you a store and say, hey, I'm a walking advertisement. I'll be your brand ambassador. They give you a $500 line of credit. You go in here and buy the clothes you want, and you walk around and you advertise. And somebody say, hey, that's nice. Where'd you get it from? You tell them where you got it from. There's more ways to fund your business and put your brand out there and your music without you putting out $1 for it. I'm a firm believer in free. Any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Normally, I get to see on Instagram and on Facebook, a lot of artists, they market their music there.
Speak up just a little louder for me.
Okay, how do you get the music to be slotted as a company that does music on Instagrams and Facebook, because normally there's this thing that looks like a reel where they just show you that new upcoming artists with their songs and stuff like that. I want to understand, how do we get to slot the music onto those platforms?
You're asking how do you get it seen on like Facebook and Instagram and stuff?
Yes, how do we get it to be played, like to be advertised?
I'm sorry, you're blinking in and out and it's really low. I can barely hear it.
Oh, my voice is very flat. I'm saying on Facebook, normally you'll find those reels. It's not a reel as such, but it's more like a notification that certain artists, they have songs that are coming up or they are out. Even on Instagram, we find the same. I'm asking, how do they get it right for their music as companies or as artists to show up on those platforms? Which criteria or movement one is to take?
That is called Facebook advertising.
Okay.
Again, did you guys know that you can advertise on Facebook? You didn't know that. Go to the search bar or go to the support section on Facebook, the help section, and type in advertising. Guys, you can set up an entire account. It doesn't have to even be a professional account. You can do it with your individual. But again, I will tell you, use your social media savvy. Create a professional page. Upload all your videos and stuff you've already done. Put content on there so when you unlock that page and open it to the public, that it's already stuff out there and they're familiar with you. Ask your personal fan base to move over to it, or either you can convert your personal page to a business page. But either way, whether it's personal or business, you can advertise on Facebook. Go to the help section and type in advertising. Then you put in a budget. Let's say you put in $5. I don't know what that is in Rand or Naira, but you guys get the idea. Put in a couple dollars and test it. And what it is you tell it what countries, what area codes, what country codes, whatever, what cities. If you say, I just want this promoted in Johannesburg or Bloemfontein, you write that in there. That's the only people that will see that video, unless the people who see it share it. But you can concentrate it to build your client base. To build your fan base. You understand what I'm saying? It's like I have a song, and I know I want it out everywhere, but I want to start right here at home and build a fan base at home so that I can get more attendees out at my events right here in Bloemfontein or Johannesburg. So you put those in, and they will play the video for anybody that's coming up and saying, oh, I'm in Bloemfontein, in your personal profile. They'll start seeing your music and your stuff like that, whatever you put out there, pop up on their screens. It'll be weird, like, hey, why is this guy over here and he lives down the street? Like, I see him performing at the club on Thursday nights and stuff. Like, why is his advertisement on my page? It's because you did targeted marketing. Targeted marketing. Write that down, because that's where you're going to say, hey, I want to advertise here. I want to advertise there. Just because and don't blindly put stuff out there and just say, oh, I want to advertise worldwide. You're wasting your money. Nobody cares. You'll get some little guy in India that's out here smashing meal on the street. I'm just saying. So what you want to do is use targeted advertising. Be specific about where you want your advertisement, which is your video, to appear. You also can promote your own post on Facebook if you didn't know that. You have a post and you post your video on your page and you say, hey, I want to promote this. Click those 3 buttons up in the right-hand corner and it'll say promote post. It should say promote post. Again, I'm in the U.S. You guys are there. There's a lot of stuff that they do here that you guys don't get there and vice versa. But if you don't see it, go to the help section and search for it. Promote post. And then there's also the one where they can leave you like flowers and coins and things like that. People can actually leave you money for your content that you post on your account in Facebook. Have you guys seen that? Okay, if you've seen it, use it. Does it cost you anything? Absolutely not. Only money you're spending down here is when you do a little Facebook advertising, and I'm gonna tell you, a $5 or $10 budget on Facebook, and you're doing concentrated direct marketing, you'll make a killing. Go ahead. I can see you.
Thank you.
You have a mic?
Yes, I do. Can you hear me?
I can.
No?
No, I can hear you.
Now, okay. Thank you. Appreciate your time and information so much, Dr. Anita. I want to ask about the bridge between publishing activities and playlisting. Are they two?
Publishing and what?
Playlisting. The service that gets you playlisted, you know, for people to hear your music on social media. Being playlisted, basically.
Like, okay, I'm missing that last part.
Playlists. The creating of playlists and being...
Playlist.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to know whose job is it, between the publisher or the marketing people? Or
You
is
mean
it
to
also
get you on that playlist when you go to that site and it's on the list of songs and they're playing automatically and things like that?
yeah, something like that, yes.
Okay. You guys have another speaker coming today, I believe, Alan Johnson. This man is the god of distribution. He will tell you, he will explain to you how all of that stuff works. Your label can go in here and request, you know, that you be put on the front page. They can go in here and request a lot of things. But you need a personal relationship with your distribution arm, which is, again, something that you don't just put out there and let somebody else handle and you sit back and wait for the money to come in. Don't do that. This man's been in the industry, Alan. He'll be the next speaker, I believe, if he can make it today. He's been in the industry for well over 50 years. He's like a walking god when it comes to distribution and things like that. But the playlist that I know, because I used to do distribution, they can request that. It's curated, but it's curated by the actual distributor. And at the request, it can be a multiple of different ways. You make the playlist. If your song's popular on social media, they may just put it there with placement by themselves without it being requested. You understand? Sometimes it's subjective. Sometimes you can request it. How many of you guys have websites? Nobody has a website? Then how are you making 100% profit on the download of your songs? Don't get it twisted. You need to keep a landing page. You're splitting money with streaming services with your music. You're getting paid pennies when they can come in here and you're doing a 99-cent download over here on Spotify or Tidal or Apple or something. You're getting portions of that. Why do you not have your own website with a PayPal link or something up there to some other payment system to where they can come on there, download the song, and you get 100% profit? Think about it. Think about it. Why are you giving away your money? And they don't want to complain about it. Stop it. And be like your mom when you touch something and you're not supposed to. I'm going to slap your hand and tell you to stop it, because that's just crazy. Don't think just because time has evolved that websites are extinct. Because guys, your music is being played from what? A website. Somebody else's website. It's being downloaded from where? Somebody else's website. Why are you not also having a download? An MP3 or MP4 download or video download from your site? Why have you not manipulated YouTube and monetized that junk so that they can download from YouTube and pay you for it? You know you can go on there and watch movies and you pay $3.99 or $2.99 or $1.99 to watch a movie. You want to download their content, your users want to download your content, why don't they? You're not making stuff available. There's so much free marketing tools out there, so many. and you see them and you use them every day for everybody else, and you've never sat there and thought about using them for yourself. Stop it. Stop it. Everything does not have to be paid for. It's so much free stuff out there. And if you're not using it, somebody else is. You get what I'm saying? Do it yourself is a real thing. It's also a money saver. Get your website up. Embed your content on there. Link if you got PayPal out there or whatever service you use, link it on there. Make it a download. It's a purchase. Get all of your money and stop giving it away. I see you in the back. You have a question? Okay. Anyone else?
Hi, Doctor. I'm actually not a musician. I'm a videographer.
Yeah, come up a little closer, because every time you step back, I lose you. Okay. Step a little closer.
I'm saying I'm not a musician.
No.
I'm not a musician.
Yeah.
I'm a videographer. Just wanted to add on something that you mentioned earlier on about content, owning your own content. I produce content for different clients. Some of them, I say, can I put it on my YouTube channel to market myself? And they will agree, obviously. And I've realized that as time goes on, maybe after 4 or 5 months, there's a $100 check coming into my account, which means those clients are not going out and register their music or their content. It's not just music, there's different types of content. So I'm just trying to add on what you said.
Why? But wait a minute. But why are you getting the money and they're not getting the money?
Well, it's on my channel.
Right.
It's a business channel. So obviously I'll get paid. So like I say, I'm just adding on to something that you said, that these artists need to make sure they register their work. Because some of the work that I have on my channel, I do get adverts, but I realize I'm not getting any money. It goes directly to them. Because as much as even if I've uploaded to my account, they've registered it and they get paid. But I'm making money for them because I've got more subscribers than they have. People come to my channel, they watch their content and they get paid. And some people, they did not register their music at all or their content. They come to my channel, probably they will even share a link showing someone, oh, this is what I have. They share a link to my channel and I get paid. So it's something that our fellow artists needs to understand, the importance of registering.
It's called affiliate marketing.
Yes.
That is called affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Banner advertisements, affiliate marketing. Guys, you can cross-promote with each other and everybody get paid. But thank you for adding that on there. See, I'm glad. See, that's a real-life example.
I'm only bringing it up because you say you do it as well. That's right.
No, that was a good example. I mean, you explained that clearly. And I'm glad you did because, I mean, it just shows how people can earn money, but they can also lose money. Anybody else have a question? Okay, I don't see Victor out there, but I'm going to ask this because I can pretty much talk to you about anything, but is there anything in particular that you guys wanted to know about any other subject? Since we have a few minutes.
Okay. Dr. Anita, I would like you to touch a little bit more on contracts for publishing in terms of touring and touring. Oh, you have already spoken about marketing. Artist readiness in terms of touring and contracts. Can you please touch on that a bit?
Well, let's start with contracts because before you start touring and anything else, you need a contract. So is this just everybody in attendance is an indie? Is that right? Independent?
Yes.
Nobody has a label.
Yes.
So that means that if you go on tour, if you guys get together and you go on tour, you get hired to go on tour, you're negotiating your own contracts, right?
Yes.
Is anybody out here on tour? No? Okay. Let's talk about contracts for a minute. The first thing I'm going to tell you is read it. Don't sign it. Read it. It takes you a week to read it. Take a week and read it. You have that right. Don't just sign something arbitrarily because, oh man, I'm getting a good deal. Don't do that. That's when you get messed over. That's when everything that you think you're getting does not exist. You think that you're getting a buzz. You think you're getting, 5-star hotel rooms. You think that you're getting stuff inside like, money to do this and a new car and whatever it is that you think that you're getting, you're not getting that. You know why you're not getting it? Because you didn't read your contract. I'm going to tell you this, everything is negotiable. People can put an offer out on the table for you, but you don't have to take it. If they really want you, they know it's negotiable. So the first thing I can tell you about contracts before I tell you anything else is to read them from top to bottom, including the spelling of your name, because I'm going to tell you a secret. You guys have some complicated names sometimes. One letter makes you a different person. You sign that contract and that contract has your name misspelled, they don't pay you anything. Not one dime. Even though you went up there and performed and you did what you had to do, they don't owe you nothing because you're not the person that contract was written for. One letter misspelled in your name. Also in the contract's terms to avoid. And this is whether you're signing with a label or if you're doing business with people. This is just a few things that you need to avoid. Avoid the word perpetuity, which means forever. Perpetuity is one of those words that you will slap yourself into infinity for once you realize you just signed everything off for the rest of your life and beyond. Perpetuity never ends. The other phrase that you want to avoid is ROW. And if you don't know what ROW is, it's rest of the world. You're going to sign with the company or you're going to sign with, to do whatever. Let's say you sign with a label. You decide you don't want to be indie, you sign with a label. Or you sign with someone that says, hey, I'm going to be your manager. Or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. You see rest of the world or ROW in there, you run. Because they're now controlling you everywhere. And there's nothing you can do about it once you sign that paper. Please pay attention on contracts to the terms, the time term. If you know that you only need this for X amount, let's say you're going on tour or you're doing this and it's for a specific night, you're performing at a concert or something like that, make sure it has that exact date, that exact time period. Make sure it does not have or the duration. The duration. Pay attention to that phrase. The duration. Because it never ends. Which means they can call you and you still have to perform because you signed a contract that says that for the duration of your career, you will perform on command when they call. Please note these things because people will put them in there and be so sly. And I'm going to tell you the ins and outs of a contract. A contract requires two things. It requires a give and a take. There's contracts out here that read what the artist should be doing. The artist will, perform in a professional manner. The artist will take 30% of live performance rights. Read those contracts because in these contracts it tells you how much money you're making, what percentage-wise that you're making. You just signed that thing. You just gave up everything that you worked hard for. Read it. They shouldn't be making 70% of your live performance, and that's including expenses and everything like that. Do you think you went out here and they got paid $10,000 for you to do a performance? You're making 30%. You're bringing home $3,000 and they're taking $7,000 saying that they had administrative costs, they had to pay for the sound system, they had to pay for this, they had to pay for that. Dude, no. I will pay my own bills. Your percentage, you make the 30%, you make the 20%, you make the 25%. You control your own narrative. I just told you about this in marketing, but especially in contracts. Control your own narrative. Don't let people just write stuff and give it to you and then hype your head up and say, oh man, I'm going to make you famous. I'm going to have you out there. You're going to be all over the world. You're going to be a player in the game. You are not going to be a player in the game, because you will not be in the game, because you will be broke and they will move on to somebody else. They will suck you dry. And I'm going to repeat again, this is a cutthroat business ran by vultures. And if you don't want to be left as the carcass on the road, you better start reading. And I mean reading. If it's something you do not understand, you take that paper and you go find somebody that can. And I don't care if it's your little 12-year-old sister. She may understand better than you. You may have to go to your son, and say, hey, what does this mean? Don't be ashamed if you're not versed on it or if you don't understand it. I'm going to tell you what, these kids probably understand it better than you ever will. But go find somebody, a lawyer, anybody that has more knowledge or you feel like can comprehend it better than you, because they write it in a complicated language that make you sound like you're a superstar and you end up a poor man or a poor woman. And we don't want that to happen. Read the contracts. Pay attention to those clauses. Do not sign your rights away through your image, your likeness, your name. See that? Those three things. Image, likeness, and name. Do not do that. You give them authority to use your image, your likeness, and your name in any capacity that they see fit or deem necessary for the marketing and purposes of you as a brand. You see how I just threw that out there to you? That sounded smooth, didn't it? That sounded clean. I just owned you. I own everything about you. And when I get tired of you and I decide I don't want to be bothered with you and I stop bringing you in and putting you in concerts, or if I'm the label, if I stop producing music on you, ain't nothing you can do. And Joe Blow over here or Victor is not going to say, oh, well, I don't need them. I'm just going to go over here and make me some indie stuff and put my own stuff out. I wish you would. I wish you would, because you gave them your name, you gave them your likeness, you gave them everything. And if that contract says perpetuity, you'll never get it back, which means Victor is no longer Victor. Victor has to come up with a stage name. And anything that he produced while he was under contract with this company or this entity or this event, if he produced it under there, it's theirs. They own it, not Victor. He'll never be. He created one of his best songs under this contract while he was working with them under this contract, and now he'll never be able to touch it again. He can't even go out in public and say, that's my song. He'll never receive anything off of it except whatever the residual was for his performing rights that he signed away in that contract, which at this point is probably a shady contract, and they're saying, oh, well, you get 20%. You understand what I'm saying? The importance of reading the contract, understanding what you read. If you don't understand it, take a picture of it and Google it. There are AI on Google, and that's all Google is a huge AI system. I'm going to keep going back to that because I need to nail in you guys' head how significant, how important, and how real artificial intelligence is. And the cool thing about AI is when you download like ChatGPT and stuff like that, you can tell it, I'm uploading a PDF contract. Please review and tell me if it's legitimate or if there are any problems. That AI program can actually do that. But it's like a dog, you have to train it. Just like you train yourself. But when it comes to contract, guys, don't leave any room for interpretation. If there's something specific that you want, that you need, please indicate that. Everything is negotiable. Don't just sign your name to something because you may not own it anymore. Please understand that. This is so important. Even if you're just doing a concert, you're doing a performance over at a venue, and they say, well, we're going to pay you $500 to do the performance. It's in the contract. You signed that because the first thing you saw and the only thing your eyes went to was the $500 for the performance for 2 sets. So you're going to come out and you're going to sing 2 sets of songs, so 6 songs maybe, because a set is usually like 3. You didn't read any further into that contract because in that contract it said, excuse me, subject to. Please look for that phrase, subject to. That's where they hype you up and tell you all this good stuff, and then they tell you, oh yeah, but it's subject to you bringing 300 people into the venue the night of this event. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it your responsibility to fill their venue, or is it them their responsibility? It's them and their marketing team, it's them and their money. But now, you've got 200, and I'm going to be real crass right now, you've got 299 people in the venue. You understand you don't get paid, right? You do understand that. So you can't go to them and start fussing and cussing and crying, talking about, you're screwing me out of money. They absolutely are. But who screwed themselves out of their money when they didn't read their contract? Read it. Read it. It is so important. Read it. Don't feel bad or misunderstood if you don't understand it. Seek out somebody that can understand it. I don't care, like I said, if it's from a record label, if it's from a venue, if it's from let's say somebody says, oh, hey, I want you to go do this party over here. Stay papered up with everything. Just because it's your friend and it's their kid's birthday party, don't just run over there and sing and get paid your $150 or $200 or whatever. Don't do that. Create a general contract for live performances. Because you need records. I don't know if you guys have taxes and stuff there, but you need records of the revenue that you've made. You don't want to just run over there. I'm sorry. You don't want to just run over there and put that in your pocket and think that everything's okay. Because when it comes time for you to report your earnings and everything, you don't know how much you made. Paper up on everything. And you don't need anybody to give you a contract. You can go on here and they have LegalZoom and all these other companies that's out here on the internet. You can get free legal documents. All you have to do is plug in where you live, what country, what state, whatever. Tell them what sort of document you need, and they will create you a free document based on that country, that state, whatever, legal requirements. You can just get some basic stuff that you can print out and keep in your car. I mean, as simple as that. But read everything. Read everything. Victor, what was anybody have any questions about contracts? It doesn't come out your pocket right now. It's going to come out your pocket at the end. So, I mean, everybody's grown. Just don't act like a child with it. You have what you call a rider. You have what you call a rider. And with the rider, if there's something specific that you want, everybody likes to feel fancy and famous. Oh, I want a fruit platter. I want a thing of shrimp. I want a platter of shrimp, or I want Egyptian water in my room, or I want square ice cubes. Put it on there. It's their option to get it. You're just giving them. It's called the rider. RIDER, that you attach to your contract, and those are personal things that you require. I will tell you first, though, if you're on tour, don't try to travel with an entourage. You don't have any friends. You're the one doing the work. You don't need to be footing the bill for 12 other guys to hang around and just tell you how great you are and hype you up. And then those 12 other guys and all the food that they ingest and all the other nonsense that they participate in and all the other expenses that they cause, you're paying for it. You may not know that at the beginning, but again, I'm going to go back to the last conversation, read that contract. When you go on tour, you're not only representing yourself, you're representing the fans that put you there. So when you go out here and show your butt and act a fool, you're basically spitting on them and saying, I don't care. You mean nothing to me. When you go out here and you present yourself with pride and go out there and do the best you can and act like somebody taught you something at home, you gain more respect, you gain more followers. Oh my God, he's such a great guy or she's such a great girl, and man, I would love to have them. That's when you start getting word of mouth referrals. The cleaner your behavior, the better your behavior. Don't go out here drinking and partying and all that stuff. You did that when you were a kid, when you were younger. Right now, you're a business person and an artist. Act like it. Now, to get ready for it, I'm going to tell you this. Touring is a hard life. It's a hard thing, especially if you're going on a long tour. You need to make sure that before you leave home, that you, and if you have a significant other, a clear line of communication, how the bills are getting paid. You need to know your payment schedule so that you can funnel money back to them to make sure that, you're paying whatever it is that you need to be taken care of. Not only that, you need to have cash on hand, petty cash, whatever you want to call it. It may be some things that you need. Maybe you have a performance outfit and you get out here and you're dancing on the stage and slip and rip the butt of your pants out. You need to know that you can get those replaced. Always come with double backups. Don't just come out here and say, hey, this is the outfits that I'm performing in. Have backups for everything. Have backups for backups. Don't go out there and start trying to act like you're, Jesus Christ superstar, because you're not. And even if you were, you still don't want to do that. Because it leaves a really bad taste in people's mouth and a really bad look on you. Be respectful. And what I love, guys, there's applications out there. You can create your own tour all around the world. Victor knows what I'm talking about. VIP. You can create your own tour. All you guys have to do is this. I'm looking at the group that's sitting there. Let's say, for example, when this conference is over, you guys are like, hey, let's put together a tour. You can literally come together and do that with free software off the internet. It will give you listings of venues all across the countries, all across the world. You contact them. Some venues will pay to have you perform. Some you use it as a stepping stone. Go perform for free because you already got 2 paid ones coming up. Do this one right here for free. You wondering about your travel. And I'm going to go back to marketing real quick on this, Victor, because it's part of touring. You shouldn't tour. You should not tour if you do not have a sponsor. Because one, you can't afford it. You guys understand what I'm saying? I'm not discouraging you to go out here and create your own thing, but get a sponsor. Somebody loves your music enough or believes in your stuff enough to put money behind. Might be your neighborhood furniture store. Who cares? It could be the dog groomer down the street. Who cares? The hairdresser. Who cares? Give them placement on your banners. Talk about them. Man, I want to shout out, Debbie's Hair Salon down here on First Avenue in Maine and just tell them who they are. You don't have to sit up here and just do a whole commercial. But people want to be involved, just like you wanted to be involved when you're out here. You want to be involved with people. People want to be involved with you. And when you're talking about touring, whether you're putting it together or not. Now, here's the other thing. If you're going on a tour and you're not the one organizing and putting it together, but yet there's advertising dollars here. Don't be afraid to ask that tour organizer, am I getting residuals or I'm getting paid from the advertisement part of it? Do not be afraid to ask. A lot of times you're supposed to be, but they don't tell you. So who keeps the money? Again, read your contracts. We have a question?
No questions?
I know, guys, I'm a terrible person.
Okay, we have a question.
What's your question?
It's not really a question, it's a request. If maybe
Yes.
Victor and you can discuss you giving us a document of everything that you have told us so that we have it as a reminder, seeing that we are too lazy to watch things or to go on the internet or read or anything like that. So if we could have that information, please, because I feel like, in all honesty, I'm not a musician, I'm a poet, but I feel like right now there are no questions because all of us are so embarrassed of the little things that we have overlooked as artists. And we need to have a constant reminder of such things so that we can better ourselves in our crafts. Thank you.
Are you a audio poet or you're a written poet?
I am a performance poet, but I've also been an audio poet. It didn't work out well. And I'm an author also.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everything I talked about applies to you guys as well. Especially that publishing. the marketing. I mean, and especially, performance poets are beautiful. I love the work that you guys put out. But yeah, I'd be glad to, give me a few days, and I'm sure Victor has everybody's email address and things like that. I'll put together some stuff and have him, I'll send it to him so he can email it to all the participants that came.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
Anybody else? Okay, I think we covered. I'd like to thank you very much for giving us this opportunity. I know you're busy and it's in the morning, got stuff to do, meetings to go to, and we are really thankful to have you on the platform. We're going to have our next speaker, Durell is online. You guys can say hi to each other before you go. Or if maybe you're still around, you can hang with us while it's giving us a presentation.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, it's been a pleasure. I have truly enjoyed this. I tell Victor I will support his endeavors anytime, anywhere. But if you guys need to talk to me, he's free to give you my email. You can find me on social media. I'm not one of those people that you can't approach. If you've got a question, just ask me. You may not like my answer, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't sugarcoat stuff, and I'm a firm believer in hard love. You don't fall on your face and fail, you'll never succeed because you don't know what it is. You can't tell the difference. You understand what I'm saying? So don't feel like you've fallen on your face and you're never going to succeed, or you're having bad feelings because, things aren't going right. It's not about that. It's about getting out there and putting your best foot forward in your best effort. But again, I'm making myself available to anybody that needs me. Locate me on social media. Get my email from Victor. I'll be glad to talk to you guys. I'm on WhatsApp. But I'm going to drop off and let you guys go with Durell. And again, I am so proud of you guys. Yeah, have a good one, okay? Thank you.